Father, thank you that you change us at just the right time. You bring us close to you and you show us the power of life and the beauty of life. And it's in those times that we know that we are yours and you are ours. As we look at the Word of God on this Sunday morning, let your name be glorified. Let your Spirit speak. Let your presence be known. Release men and women from those things that hinder us from drawing close to you. We thank you, O God, for the power that resides in the name of Jesus. We ask your presence now in this word. Amen. 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 Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your kindness and thank you for a wonderful song and just praise today. Before I get going, friends of ours are in the building. Reverend Terry and Seth Odiambo from Cheyenne, Wyoming, sitting in the back. We want to say hello to them. Would you just give a praise out to them? I'm delighted to see them and have them worship with us today. It is a special Sunday. We are saying life interruption right now. That's all. We didn't say we're saying goodbye. We're just saying life interruption. And to a dear friend of all of ours. And we want him to know that we love him greatly. It's right fitting that we could talk about love today because this is a guy and person that we all love in our own way. And I just know he's going to be fine where he goes. I expect nothing less. Amen. So we'll be talking with and saying our final goodbyes to Reggie after the service today. I wanted to, because I listen to my head and my mind when I'm writing sermons, and Valentine's Day is a day that's important to some of us. You take that any way you want it. Valentine's Day to me is a low-profile holiday. It's not a high one. It's not a big one, but they still make a lot of money off of Valentine's Day. I think of it as the day that we love those in a special way around us. When I think about that, I go, that's why Christmas to me is the way we celebrate it is so off-key. We buy presents for each other, but it ain't our birthday other than the nieces. So we want to show everybody. I'm going, you could just save that for Valentine's Day and then keep Christmas in its right place. On Valentine's Day, y'all remember you share chocolate hearts. And the bigger that shows you how much love you have. If you get a gigantic one, boy, man, you saying something. You go out to romantic dinners. I guess y'all do. I don't know, but for the romantic people, you go out to dinners. So a lot of the restaurants this week will be just filled with people looking googly-eyed at each other, as they eat spaghetti and things. And then Hallmark greeting cards. I don't even know how many cards are sent, but I dropped some off at the post office so I could get my stamp from Loveland. And so a lot of folks will say, this is what I mean. This is what I want to say to you. And for Valentine's Day. And then on Valentine's Day, I don't know how many, I didn't, but a lot of folk get proposals on Valentine's Day. And they get all mushy with it, So it's the official day that we commemorate love for somebody. When we were in Congo, early after Debbie and I had gotten there, and I think Valentine's Day came around and we were just talking about it, and some pastors heard us. And one of them came to me and they were a little bit upset because me and Debbie celebrated Valentine's Day. And I, was trying to explain, I'm celebrating this in the context of me and my marriage to my best girl. And they thought it was unchristian to celebrate this pagan holiday. And I thought to myself, I said, most of our holidays are connected to pagan rituals. You do know that, right? And I'm going, so it's just one of many, but I was just trying to tell them this is an opportunity for me to tell my sweetheart, my sugar dumpling. My boo. It was my opportunity to tell her what she means to me. When I think about just this conversation, I will tell you that I think the church has not done a very good job in explaining the beauty and the holiness of love. I don't think we've done a good job. I don't think we've done a great job in talking about sex. Even in 2019, no, I'm not going to give you a sex class today, but I don't think the church did a very good job at talking about love and sex and also intimate relationships. I don't even want to know how many of us learn how to really court somebody other than your big brother or big sister. And that might not be really good. Or your best girlfriend or your best boyfriend or just a friend. I remember in the 6th grade when Valentine's Day came around one time, they paired everybody up in our class. Now, they weren't the teachers. These were the leading students in our class, the outspoken kids, and they told me who I was paired with. And they even told me where I was supposed to kiss her. We had this little woods beside our house, and there was this path down there. And they said, now, you're going to meet her down in that path, and you're going to get your lips ready. They showed me all the steps. Puck them up, and you go toward her. Boy, that day I was nervous. And the funny thing about it, she didn't even show up. Another one of my breakups. She didn't even show up. But I think about it, she didn't even come. Her name was Taran Benson. And I had waited for old Taran. I had the lips puckered. I was ready. Old girl never did come. But that's how I learned how I was supposed to get romantic. I will say it again. I think the church has not done a really good job on how romance and intimacy and love and sex plays a part. If anything, we have been the great champions of no, don't express that feeling. Stay away from love. Or stay away from emotions because they are not of God. And I'm going, oh, that's wrong. We had a whole lot of no's growing up. And then I think the church eventually left the language of love to Hollywood. We let Hollywood tell us, what love looked like. We let R&B. Now, y'all know what I'm talking about. But for the R&B crowd, we let R&B talk about us. Talk to us. And then we let country music talk to us. And all them, we let even rock and roll would talk to us. And, that's why they hated Elvis, because, he gyrated a lot. Y'all ain't old enough, but Elvis was not welcome inside the church world when he first came in. Because on stage, old boy was rocking them hips And the church just went ballistic. They said, how horrible could a man be on stage moving his hip and he hollering, don't step on my blue suede shoes. When we listen to all of these things, when we listen to all of these voices and don't say anything, why then, when they bring a language that is too strong for us, or they bring a description that's too big for us, if Hollywood produces a show that's too big for us or too big for our comfort, we put our hands over our eyes or we put our hands over our ears. What's wrong with us? Love is from God. Hello. No matter how saved we are, love and intimacy and emotional connections flow from the Father. And for us to take it and make it look like something that is not, to me, is a thumb up to the Father. The thing is, I think we should do a better job trying to understand the Father's perspective and join it with our understanding, and I think we produce something beautiful. I want to look at the Song of Songs this morning just briefly. I'm not going to go through it all, but I just want to touch it because it's a book that I think is worth reading, because it just runs well with this day. It runs well with what's coming up on Thursday of this week. And it comes from our Holy Bible. This love story comes in the midst of the Bible. But even though it comes in the midst of the Bible, there's some disagreements and disconnect, because folk don't know how to take this book called the Song of Songs, or they refer to it as the Song of Solomon. Biblical scholars have argued about the placement of this book. They don't know or have argued about the full meaning of the Song of Songs over centuries. One of the biggest disparities when you read the Song of Songs is God is never mentioned throughout its 8 chapters. God's name never comes up. That's one of the issues that they say, how can this be a book for the canon when the name of God never rises? Or secondly, when they read the Song of Songs, or just call it the song, its literary flow does not culminate in the climactic personhood of God. There's nothing in these lines that says it is fulfilled. It reaches its height in God or Christ or the Messiah. And so the question about why do we look at and read the Song of Songs, we ask the question, what's the message behind this book? And I'll just throw this at you. All I can tell you is it's in the book. It's in the Bible. And we believe that the 66 books of the Bible are inspired words of God, written by men and women for teaching and for admonishing and instruction. And so this book itself, just because it sits in the total compartment of the Bible, we believe this book itself has holy meanings to us. Amen? And I just want to look at it for a moment, because Solomon does something to me. When I read this, and I read it a couple of times, read it back, like I tell you in Bible study, I read it and read it and read it and wait till something would speak out to me. And so quickly, I just want to say, why did Solomon write this work? Why would Solomon, who was wise, who loved geology, who loved astronomy, who loved botany, who loved economics, this man, why would he take time to write a love story? Well, I think he wanted us to hear something from his heart. And if you know Solomon in 1 Kings, I just want you to look at this verse so you get a perspective of Song of Solomon. But if you look at 1 Kings chapter 4, verse 32, it says, it's talking about Solomon. It says, he spoke 3,000 proverbs, and his songs numbered 1,005. That's pretty cool, ain't it? This brother not only spoke Proverbs, but it says he spoke over 3,000. And then when we read this short letter, it says he wrote over 1,005 songs. See, I know Luther was good, but I don't remember Luther writing 1,005 songs. I know he wrote, "A house is not a home." Come on now. You know, when Luther would bear down and woo, 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 boy, you would just go, whoo. But I don't remember him writing 1,005. I don't remember Bing Crosby writing 1,000, but Bing had that magic voice too. And this is another thing we got to pick up. We've always had love songs. We didn't just get them in this 20th century. We've always had love songs. But Solomon writes 1,005 love songs. That's pretty cool. I want to look at that. And if you look at the very first chapter and the first verse of the book of Song of Solomon, look what he says. Song of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 1. It opens with just a simple statement. Solomon's Song of Songs. Catch that, what he's saying. The writer is expressing this is Solomon's best hits. Did y'all catch that? He's going, this is number 1 on the charts. Huh? With a bullet. This is, oh man. Of all the songs that Solomon writes, he declares in this chapter, in the very first verse, this is his best writing to date. And when we say the Song of Songs, he's saying, this is my best song of all the songs. And you know this type of language when we refer to Jesus. We refer to Jesus as the King of Kings. So that's big K and little k. Are you with me? So when we speak of Jesus as the King of Kings. And we also refer to Jesus as the Lord of Lords. Are you with me? So Solomon knows that rhythm. He knows that. And so Solomon writes in chapter 1, verse 1, that this song that we're looking at is the Song of Songs. Michael Jackson was king of pop. Some of y'all were going, let's see, what is that? Michael was king of pop. And all the pop writers, Jackson was king of pop. And Aretha Franklin, she was, oh, y'all know that one, didn't you? I can see some of you right now respect just a little bit. Oh, yeah, just a little. Okay, all right. So you know Aretha was queen of soul. And Elvis was referred to as the king of, there you go. People stand in line to go down and see the king. All of these people, along with Solomon, wrote or did something to make them the best of the best. Solomon writes about the normal human condition called love. Love. A love that exists between two individuals. Solomon takes time to write us. Solomon does not cover his eyes or his ears, but he speaks boldly and openly about the love of a man and of a woman. It's not nasty. It's not. It's not ugly. Love is not ugly. Intimacy is not ugly. it's not out of the norm. But love should be something that's beautiful and exciting and fresh and exhilarating. Solomon helps us to see this from a human perspective. So I titled this sermon, Mutual Praise. Mutual praise. When you read this book, there are three characters who are constantly referred to. Their voices are heard throughout the book of Song of Songs. One is the beloved. So when you read the beloved, that's the woman. That's the beloved. When you read the line from the lover, that's a man. And then, of course, you got them friends. See, do y'all remember? Just play with me for a moment. Y'all remember when you used to write that note, and your best friend had to carry it, and you fold it up in a little box, and you go, "If you love me, check yes. If you do not, check no. And I'll leave you alone." I think we say, "I'll leave you alone, maybe." And you would fold it up. Now, I know for all of you who are just strictly book learning, this means nothing to y'all. But y'all got to know your pastor was not a strictly book learner kind of a guy. So you get your best friend the letter. But you have to be careful about best friends. Best friends subject to throw the letter away and go to the other person and tell him, "Oh, don't be with him. He crazy. You need to be with me." There's always friends. And it even happens here, if we were to say 7, 8, 9 centuries before the birth of Christ. Friends play a role in our love relationship. I want to look at these verses really quick, but before, I didn't give Ray this, and I want to read this because in chapter 1, I let Ian read chapter 2, 1 through 7, because I thought it was easier reading. But I also wanted to add chapter 1, verses 12 through 17. So if you have a Bible, turn to chapter 1, verses 12 through 17. This is in chapter 1, because this adds to the impact. In chapter 1, verse 12, it says, "While the king was at his table, my perfume spread its fragrance." Woo, I'm getting hot already. It said, "My lover to me, a sachet of myrrh resting between my breasts." I didn't want Ian to read that. I said, I better not have him to read that section. I better read that one. Then he says, "My lover is to me a cluster of henna blossoms from the vineyards of En-Gedi." The lover says, "How beautiful you are, my darling. Oh, how beautiful your eyes are doves." The beloved answers, "How handsome you are, my lover. Oh, how charming. And our bed is verdant." Does anybody give a color? Our bed is green. All right. "The beams of our house are cedars, our rafters are firs." Man, there's a discussion going on here. There's some talk. You remember when you first met that person, you could talk all night? Now, don't play with me now. Me and Deb used to talk from 11 o'clock at night to 4 in the morning. What you doing? "Oh, I ain't doing that. We would talk for 4 hours and had to go to school in the morning. So what you going to be doing on Friday? Nothing. You want to go out? Yeah. You want to go get something? Yeah. Okay, when I get out of class, I'm going to stop by. We could do that for 3 or 4 hours. Any of y'all done that? You couldn't you just talk? But now you're married? Pass the ketchup. Thanks. You ever notice us in the car? See, at least when we was going together, you remember when you was going together, she used to sit right here with you. Boy, y'all be so close, car just she'd be right here up under you. Mm-hmm. Now my wife, well, I got a little armrest thing. She couldn't sit there with me anyway. But now she sits over on the door, phone in hand. And I go, hey, huh? That's about the height of our driving. When me and her travel, we just sleep. That's all. There's the best thing to do to keep the conversation down, just sleep. When you're reading Songs of Solomon, this isn't what's going on. These two people are talking. And they're talking about the other one. Verses 12 through 14 says, the beloved praised the king. And we would assume that the king is Solomon. Solomon is writing this text. The beloved between verses 12 and 14 is praised about the king for his pleasing and attractive characteristics. She is talking about how good this man is. And she not only talks about how good he is, but she said his behavior is intoxicating. Gentlemen, you remember when we used to open the door? Then you tuck the little dress in. And then you just easily shut the door. When you get out, you run over to the other side. Take your hand out, help out. Easily you shut the door. You know what we do now? You drive up to wherever you are. Bam! And you look back, you go, you better come on. We got to get done. Come on, come on. Am I talking to anybody? So Solomon is talking about this. The girl is talking about how deep he is. And she think about him and she says, man, your behavior, all of the things that you're doing, they are so cool and so nice. I'm intoxicated. It's like a perfume coming up in me. And she says, all the other men compared to you are like desert. They're dry. Ain't nothing going on to them. Then she goes a little deeper. She said, and Solomon, he was like a cluster of flowers. And she calls them by name henna blossoms. A little white flower that grows in the valley, in places where you normally don't see them. But she says to him, about him, she says, man, you're like that special, one of those special flowers that comes up. Look at verse 15. Verse 15 in chapter 1, he says, the lover didn't stop with her words. He had something to come back on her. He said, the lover returned her praise by commending not only her beauty, but also her tranquil character. See, back in antiquity, doves were noted for their cleanliness and their tranquility. So this man was saying, girl, you're like a dove. Which means, girl, you're so clean. Everything on you really looks so well. Now, I'm going to have to pause on this. I want y'all to put a pause right here. See, when you get married, every now and then, Debbie said, come go somewhere with us. And this is what she'll hit me with. You going to wear that? And I just kind of go, well, we're just going to. Dave, ain't you going to change that shirt? And in my head, I'm going, well, we just. But when we first started going, anybody tell me that brothers especially, Were your pants always creased? I used to send my jeans and all of my pants to the cleaners. And all of my pants was creased. I was smaller then. And when I would go see Debbie, she would always say, oh, you always look so nice. Things change. So this brother is saying to her, he says to this lady, he says, man, you are beautiful. And according to rabbinical teaching, it says a bride who had beautiful eyes exposes a beautiful character. Her eyes are the index of her character. So he looked at her and he said, girl, your eyes are like doves, meaning that she's captivating. But it's funny how we grow with each other and they move from dove eyes. You ever have your mate give you that look? Ain't no dove eyes in there. You have that old evil eye. So this writer is saying, he says to her, he says, girl, you are beautiful. Your character is beyond measure. My brothers and my sisters, what I'm saying, Solomon is telling you and I how to speak to one another. We major in arguing with each other. But remember when you really wanted that person, there was no arguments going on. You listened. You spoke words of compliments. Solomon and this lady who was taken by him, they both speak mutual appreciation toward one another. Let me hurry. And then in chapter 2, she takes back the conversation. In chapter 2, she says, I am a rose of Sharon, a lily in the valley. She thought of herself that I'm this rose, I'm this lily. And when I found out what she was saying, she says, I'm this ordinary flower, and you would find me beautiful. I'm just a regular lily. I'm just a regular rose. I'm not anything different. But he looks at her and he declares in chapter 2, he says, no way, girl, you are the lily among thorns. Woo! I'm going to use that. What I'm leaning toward in this sermon is this writer finds it important that couples see the best of each other. We are very much aware that there are some things that we would love to change. But it seems like Solomon wants to take time out to write this letter and says, love is a human condition. And how you deal with love will determine the deepness and really the beauty of your relationships. So there are three things I want to point to. There are what I call three aspects of romantic love that women desire. Some of us have forgotten that our wives, our girlfriends, there's something that they desire from us. So if you turn to the second chapter, verses 3 and 4, and I'll pull these out real quick and we'll be done. I think Solomon is speaking to us in the 21st century. In chapter 2, verses 3 through 4, I think Solomon highlights three aspects of romantic love a woman desires. I don't care who you're with. There's three things, at least three things that she wants from a man. Look at verse 3. It says, like an apple tree among the trees of the forest is my lover among the young men. There's a compliment that she's giving. And then she says, I delight to sit in his shade, and his fruit is sweet to my taste. He has taken me to the banquet hall, and his banner over me is love. First thing that I think he says that a woman needs is, underline if you can your Bible where it says, she sits in his shade. She sits in the shade. What does that mean? I'm going to come back to that. Secondly, I think she says, I have tasted our relationship. And then thirdly, she says, because of him, I wear the banner of love. Whoo! Ain't that cool? I sit in his shade. I have tasted the relationship, and I wear the banner of love. Let me tell you quickly. Sitting in his shade is a metaphor for he protects me. Hello, thank you. I heard a woman say that. Brothers, women want you to protect them. Oh, y'all quiet. Women, you ought to be screaming, yes, baby, that's what I want. Yes, yes. Listen to Pastor. Listen to him. Women want to feel that when they're with you or around you, that you will protect them. The other day, my wife, I was studying at home, and Debbie had some person to come over, and something was beeping downstairs. I'm upstairs in my office. I'm trying to get my sermon together. And my wife runs up to something and says, hey, you got to come downstairs. Something is ringing downstairs. And I said, well, if it's going to blow up, why would you want me to go down there? So, I had to show her that I was manly. I had to show her, this is day, because the lady who had come to get her hair was in our house. And so the lady was standing upstairs too, like, do I get out? Is this bad boy going to blow up? So I just walked down and I heard this, I said, oh, Lord, what is it? Please, Lord Jesus. I walked downstairs, a man, you got to be cool about this thing. And so you got to play like you ain't scared, but you be shaking. And so I walked in her shop. You know what it was? It was her alarm clock in her little shop was going off. She was telling me, Dave, I think it's the furnace. I think the gas tank is about to go. How did you deduct that with just a But on top of that, she told me to go down there and check it out. So I, like a man, went downstairs, and I'm just scared. Lord, if you're going to blow it up, I'm ready, Jesus. I'm ready. I'm ready to go in. I thank you, Lord, for my life. But I was scared, but she wanted me to protect her. Men, we got to get back to that place. According to Solomon, she wants to sit under your shade. She wants to sit under your protection. She wants to rest under your authority. And please don't mess that word up. I ain't sitting under no man's authority. Well, next time you go downstairs, don't call me. Don't call me. You just go. No, but to sit under a person's authority, it says, I know I can trust you for my welfare. When me and Debbie are downtown Denver on 16th Street Mall, on the 16th Street Mall, I have to change over from being pastor. I have to look bad. So I put my because I just want anybody who going to come up on me, watch out now. I ain't playing. You don't know me as pastor. So I got to look like I'm rough. Because if somebody jump out, I'm going to move her back. Now, if he real big, every man on his own, But when we go down, I always try to protect her. And I tell y'all this just from pastor. Can't nobody talk about Debbie. I can, but you can't. Are we clear? No, that's my wife. That's my boo. So I want her to feel that I am with her. I'm going to take care of her. It doesn't mean that she don't bring no money in the house and she doesn't add to the value of our home. It just says when the symbol of courage needs to be shown, I step up. She's the same woman who will tell me in the middle of the night, did you hear that? I play like I don't hear nothing. Dave, I heard something in the front room. I want her to get up and go check it out. All right, anyway, I'm sorry. So the first thing Solomon says, she says about Solomon, I sit in his shade. Brothers, every woman wants to know you will take care of her. Secondly, she says, I delight to sit in his shade, and his fruit is sweet to my taste. what she means that this relationship is something that has grown in time. And she has watched him develop. And she has tasted of his behavior. Let me translate. You're not getting this. She's saying, I didn't just fall in love with him. I watched him mature. The problem that I'm afraid in this day and time is everybody falls in love the first day. I know. Where you fall in love the first day, you're in bed by Friday. You are together by Friday in the bed, and then 3 weeks later, one of you is saying goodbye. Thanks. What do you say thanks to? Thanks. Solomon says you need a relationship that you have tested. My brothers and my sisters, everybody that you can, sit at the bar with or, meet down at the park, that is not a guarantee you want to go home with that person. There's some maniacs out there. There's some Jezebels. I'm sorry, y'all don't know about that. But there are some folk out there that you might not want to hook up with forever. And so the lady says, I have tasted this man. Now you remember in Psalms, it says, I think it's Psalms 34, oh, taste and see that the Lord is good. It said basically, the writer of Psalms says, try God out. You need to develop a relationship. And so she says, I've been around this man long enough to understand that he makes my heart just go pitter-patter. He respects me. He honors me. I honor him. So she says, secondly, brothers, you want to show yourself trustworthy. Y'all quiet. I just watched today. I told y'all years ago, I had a jacked up Buick Century, had huge tires in the back, had some 40s in the front. I had them shocks, and I would drive through the school system. I'd drive up and I'd pull up beside Debbie. One day Debbie said, hey, can I drive your car? I said, not living. That was my car. My daddy bought that car. We give keys to anybody. I try to tell my daughters, all the cars they've had, they don't belong to him. No, baby. Of course, my youngest daughter would try that out, but you need to know who you are investing in. So Solomon says, point 2, taste the relationship. Test the relationship. And then thirdly, and I'm just about done, she says, in a real relationship that a woman wants, she wants a relationship that she can wear the banner of love on. She says in that verse, he has taken me from the banquet hall, and I didn't have time to get into that, but it simply just means I went over to his house, and the house where he serves his best friends and where all of his parents come for big holidays and big adventures. He brought me into that place. He showed me the most sacred parts of his home. And he says, and his banner over me is love. This is my favorite one. The beloved appreciate the fact that Solomon let others see her and the love he had for her. Now, years ago, when I was growing up, you remember the Miss America pageant? Everybody had that big sash. Come across, so the women stand up there. Miss Ohio, that sash come around there. Miss Indiana, because you wanted to know who she was. And then she would finally get a new sash, Miss America, and then finally come Miss Universe. Solomon is so cool that the woman picks up on, I want to be with a person that is not ashamed of me, both in private and in public. Oh, y'all got quiet. Y'all should have been jumping on that. I'm living in a world where men believe they got to go out all night. Y'all sitting at home he just out with the boys. Let me tell you, I'm going to just drop this on you. He ain't just with the boys. See, he does not go to a boys club only with boys. Oh, y'all just sitting there like you don't want. Solomon wrote about this and said, wherever I go, she go. And wherever she go, I go. I'm proud to be with her. And matter of fact, I let people know I'm with her and she's with me. Y'all ever see them boys? Me and Debbie, when we was young and thin, we used to have them dress-up clothes just alike. Y'all remember? We'd have both of us would have a blue shirt on, and it would say, I love him. And hers would say, and I love her. And then we have them the same matching white pants. And we walk through the place, and everybody knew who I was with, and she knew who she was with. Nobody could confuse us. That's what a woman wants to know, is that she's dedicated to you. You're dedicated to her. No matter where you go, she loves you. You love her. You're proud of her. I know this was going to be a little tough, but I just had to get it out. No woman wants to be left at home every night. Okay, how you say I'm cool? I need to go out and get some fresh air. Yeah. You let me try to tell Debbie Louise about 10:30. I need to go get some fresh air. Y'all don't know Debbie. As I'm going to the car, she got her coat on. She already on the other side. Where we going? You going to get some fresh air? Let's go and get some fresh air. Then we come on and go back and go to bed. Boys and girls, you got to stop playing this game with each other. You got to say, I'm yours and yours alone. That's what makes a relationship grow in time, is because my word is my bond. My truth is my truth. I have declared I'm with you. So she says, I wear his sash of love. Every woman wants to know that there is nobody else. She wants to know that she is protected. She wants to know that intimacy is just between you and her. And she wants to know, in the final analysis, that she is yet the sparkle of your eye. I didn't write this. This guy wrote this way back then. So I close with this. But the woman makes one last statement that I think is so cool. Look at verse 7 in chapter 2. Not only does she declare the three things that make, not only does she declare the three things that a woman, or the three aspects of a woman that she wants from a man. She says in chapter 2, verse 7, you got to be open and honest with our sons and our daughters. That emotion that drives us in love is a very powerful emotion. It's powerful. Do you not know men and women are in prison behind this emotion? When you have school teachers who find themselves attracted to their 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th grade students, there's a problem going on. And what it is, it's not that that woman is evil, it's that she has not got a firm grip on what love is. And she may be trying to beat herself up because somebody told me I was ugly. And now this little boy in 9th and 10th grade, he is so infatuated with my body, she gets a high off of that. But the writer of Songs of Solomon says, that's not love. So many men are in prison because they've found themselves just infatuated with children. And they could not differentiate this is a child. But their biological body was being aroused and they felt themselves drawn to a child. boys and girls, that was not God's intent, but it is here. We've got to help our children understand the power of our intimacy and our love and our emotions and stop just saying no. I'll close with this story because I think you need it. When I was growing up, did your mom and daddy ever have a talk with you? Hello? Did y'all have a talk? Y'all never had to talk? I need to have a session on the talk. Now, I'm going to give you in my daddy's 3-minute version. This is what my father would say to all the boys, all four of us. And you had to get it at the right age. Because even though my father was a great preacher, he fumbled in that area. So this is my father. He said, Dave, come in here. I knew then something was up. So I eased in the room. You know how your mind go through this inventory? No. What I didn't do, I got the trash out. I went to school every day. Teacher ain't called this week. Mama that wasn't mad at me. So then he said, well, I ain't done that. So this ought to be cool. And so he said, well, sit down. And I sat down. And my father sat up. Now, son, you know about girls, don't you? Nah, I see where this is going. So I said, oh, yes. I'm all up on them. This is about 13. I said, I'm up on it. I got it. He said, son, took a deep breath. He says, now, boy, when it gets hot in there, I'm talking to y'all. Y'all know, listen to me, listen. He said, when it get hot in there, and all y'all know what I'm talking about. Please don't give me that look like you don't know what I'm talking about. When it get hot in there, this is my father's words. He said, get up and leave. I'm 13. I'm going, get up and leave. See, because at 13, you've already tried some stuff. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. What he was saying, and you need to share this with your sons and your daughters and your grandchildren, your nieces and nephews. The motion to connect is extremely strong. And it's not evil. But uncontrolled, it can cause bad situations. My father didn't know how to put that into words. I'm a little boy, hormones is just jumping because all my friends done told me what they done already did. I'm waiting my turn. But this is what I think his partner is saying, do not awaken love before it's time. Many of our children and grandchildren believe when they are kissing, an early intimacy is a sign of love. Are you with me? I'll even take that to some of y'all adults. Y'all think the physical connector is an actual sign you must be in love. I will refute that. I will say that is a part of your natural nature. We were made to connect with each other. But we have to learn how to balance our emotions. That's learned. You got to learn that. So my father really wanted me to know, he says, Dave, it's natural. Melissa will tell you now, I walked into more rooms with folk all entangled up. I go, not in my house. She would give me this eye like, I hate you. And I'm saying to myself, I know what that's going to lead to. And it's not that what it leads to is bad. It says the timing is wrong. The timing is wrong. So you don't make the act itself ugly because according to God, and according to Psalms of Solomon, it's not ugly. She says it needs to be relegated by time. The church forgot to tell us that. And so I grew up when girls became pregnant, they became a scorn to the church. The boy just walked away. He just went, got a couple other folks pregnant, but we never said anything to him. So we thought the girl was nasty. You need to help your children talk this out. And you even get to tell them how y'all got here. I'm going to turn my back on that while y'all grab that. You need to explain to them how they got there. And you got to move beyond a stork drop you off at my house. And I've been loving you ever since the stork dropped you off. What no stork in the Bible in the King James? It says, and Adam begat. Adam knew. It's not ugly, my friends. And so I close this sermon. Love is something that God has given us. But you got to stop letting the tabloids and the media define what it looks like. The church needs to own it because it flows from us. I say to you and to you men and to you women as we go to Valentine's Day, if you don't appreciate anything I say, think about those three aspects of what a woman wants. If your home, your relationship is growing old, I will tell you, just going down to Victoria's Secrets is not going to do it. It won't. You're going to need more than that. You're going to have a mind change in how you deal with each other. So Solomon and this lady who we believe is his wife, they gave each other mutual respect and praise. Would you pass that on this Valentine's Day? I believe that's the word of God for the people of God. Amen. Come on, stand with me. So it's about love.